Greetings. Congratulations from State Farm Stadium. I'm Paul Kuharsky of paulkuharsky.com. Look who finally decided to show up. I'm taking grief. I said I'll be here shortly or presently or whatever. I finish writing. I send the message and I come around. I didn't even send the text, which is bad form. I'm Paul Kuharsky at paulkuharsky.com. Best Titans coverage around here in Glendale, Arizona. Titans shock everybody. 22-21 with a very impressive fourth quarter. 2 touchdowns, a missed extra point, a field goal. Arizona, the team that makes the big mistakes. Give away a touchdown as a guy lets the ball go, walking into the end zone. An epidemic in football. Glad it happened for Titans fans. I don't understand why anybody runs into the end zone and is not completely certain that they're 5 yards into the end zone before they let the ball go. Snead may have influenced the guy going into the end zone, but he did not affect the ball or affect his arm. Good job by Snead, though, tracking him down. Bad job by the running back. Titans immediately take advantage of this and drive 80 yards, their longest drive of the season. Fantastic job by them. 3 and out, get the ball back, go down, score again. Not in conventional fashion. Tip ball, interception, guy goes down. Fumbles the ball into the end zone. Tyler Lockett, very smartly, tracks the ball, falls on the ball, touchdown Titans. And they're a field goal away from winning it. Get the ball back, manage the clock well, drive down the field. Beautiful, beautiful thrown ball by Cam Ward on a lovely arc. Just the right heat on it. And Calvin Ridley, who's dropped far too many, runs under it, falls beautifully to him. 38 yards, I believe, settles under it. All they've got to do is position Sly, set up the clock, walk-off field goal, his first in his career, and walk-off win for the Titans at Arizona. Really impressive. They played 3 shitty quarters and a really good fourth quarter, and they haven't played anything close to a good fourth quarter. They've kept telling us how. They're in these games at the beginning of the fourth quarter. They just have to figure out a way to win one. All of us have thought they've shown us nothing to suggest that you're capable of winning one. They finally had another team make the mistakes instead of them making the mistakes, and they figured out a way how to go and win a game. Who knows what it means in the long run? They're not a very good team still. But, I think too many of us were convinced that there wasn't a route for this team to go and win a football game, and they proved us all wrong with this effort. Have to be happy for them. Doesn't wash away anything they did in the first 4, but certainly gives you some hope that they can look like they looked in the fourth quarter, hopefully longer than 1 quarter, and go and do things. Cam Ward, through 3 quarters, a lot of us in the press box, I'm sure guys were writing the same thing I was writing, which is they've got a Cam Ward problem because he completed 38% of his passes. Io Manor dropped 2 bad ones. But the drops weren't really the thing that was killing the Titans. Cam Ward's inaccuracy was killing the Titans. And then all of a sudden, in the fourth quarter, boom, 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 just throwing balls, really well-placed balls into really good windows, setting guys up for first downs, for some yards after the catch and for some really good offensive football. The Titans, in the 2 scoring drives and the drive that set up the interception that was recovered for the football, I believe it was 198 yards. That was more yards than they had in the whole game against Denver, in the whole game against the Rams, and in the whole game in Houston. Pretty remarkable. Some crazy stuff. I'm sponsored by Edley's, best barbecue joint in and around Nashville, Tennessee. You need to go there and eat. I'll broadcast from there on Friday, as I always do. But you need to take your wife, your girlfriend, your family to Edley's for dinner one night coming up soon. You need to take somebody from work or a client there for lunch. Place is phenomenal. The portions are used. The hospitality is fantastic. The prices are reasonable. If I've said that twice, well, it's a point of emphasis. Great place to have a meal. Nashville's signature barbecue. Jump on board. Really, you can't go wrong. I'm also brought to you by Brymac, which sends me on the road to all of these things. For all your commercial HVAC and plumbing needs, their phone number is on my column from the game, which is headlined "From Woeful to Walk-Off, Titans Surprise Us with Rally for 22-21 Win in Arizona." I hope you will read that before your night is over or first thing in the morning. Let's jump into some of your questions. I'm happy to see so many of you here. Sam Mamu, who hosts with me the midweek report. God, a win feels good. Looks like a Titans home game behind me, and that there's nobody here. You realize it's a significant amount of time since the game ended. Ben says, my team is falling behind you in our sleeper league with Cook not doing much and a Titans win. Well, I'll suffer the consequences. Vrabel is Vrabeling. What's the score of that game? Mike Vrabel against a better team than his in prime time. You've got to like it. How's the booth? It's a standard booth. This is a nice stadium. They did a good job here. Cards fans were friendly, Jabari said, which is nice. It's always good when the road trip is good. Were there more people here than you expected? We didn't see too many Titans fans. Brandon, thanks for the compliment. Cardinals subreddit is hilarious right now. They want everyone fired. They've also got two very difficult opponents coming up back to back. I talked to one of their beat guys on the way down in the locker room today, and he said, "Man, I don't want to cover a coaching search." Etch says, when somebody gives you a win, you still have to be able to take it, and they finally did. That's absolutely true. Sly looks like a concern. Somebody's saying, that missed extra point is not good. They should have gone for 2 the first time. Should have gone for 2 the first time. That's a mistake. Simmons played his ass off. He has been doing that, and he did do that. Both sacks were on Cam, says Matt Mosley. Offensive line was good. Hit the like button. Hit the follow button for the Paul Kuharsky podcast. Appreciate it. Retweet on Twitter. Get some more people in here for the conversation. 2010 Patriots. Man, that is some impressive work by the Patriots right now. No, you didn't get a text, Kim. I forgot to send the texts. Do I say luck or good play was the reason for the Titans win? Look, you win how you win. I mean, Arizona made some stupid plays, and the Titans took advantage of it. I mean, 4 teams before this took advantage of the Titans' shitty play and beat them. Doesn't matter how you win, really. Matters that you win. I was talking to somebody who was texting me and said, well, the Titans should have lost. It doesn't matter if the Titans should have lost. They won. It matters what the result is. Doesn't matter how you got there. I mean, we could discuss how they got there and all of that, and that's fine. It makes for good conversation, makes for good podcasts, makes for good radio shows. The Titans are 1-4 today. I thought the offensive line today was pretty good too. And they put Cam on the move, which I thought was pretty good. I didn't have a great angle on Sly's last field goal. Dom says, love this win for the boys, especially Cam, but don't let that distract you from the reality that Brian, as a game manager, went for it on 4th and 10, punted on 4th and inches, and didn't go for 2. Fair point for sure. Went for it on 4th and 10, punted on 4th and 1, 4th and 2, 4th and 3, and didn't go for 10. That is a very good point. I don't know who had a better angle on Sly. I didn't get a straight look at Sly. I saw it from the side. See, yeah, it doesn't matter what team should have done. Kim didn't like not going for a touchdown at the end of the game. I don't know why not. I mean, few teams are going to go for a touchdown. This team putting the ball at risk on something like that when it's got a field goal kicker is pretty reliable from pretty short distance, though he did miss a PAT not too long before. But basically, you want to get down there and put your team in position. I think Pollard was going pretty good late, and Tajay may have been on a pitch count. Reed asking about Tajay playing early but playing sparingly late. Simmons is a stud. He's playing great. But Kyler did escape a couple times in tough situations. And on his touchdown run, Kyler Murray's touchdown run, man, I mean, he waited a second. I don't think it was a designed run, but he maybe gave one read and he took off and he was gone so fast. There wasn't a Titan that had any kind of chance. Any kind of chance. CA1 says he's not a Cali guy. I don't know that there are any Cali guys around. Not a Cali guy, but why not go for 2? Because it would have given our defense an excuse once again. Feel the game was out of reach. Kick the field goal, make it a 1 possession, keep D fired up. That's not a reason not to go for 2. George said Cali should have declined a procedure penalty when the Cards punted in the middle of the game. Titans ended up losing 17 yards on the second attempt due to a block in the back. So he should have foreseen a block in the back. I mean, I think pushing them back and getting another punt when your punt returner's been pretty good and the punt team running down further to get you is a wise call. What you need to do is not block in the back. So if you foresee your special teams unit committing a penalty, yeah, if your suit's there, then you should decline the penalty. I had no problem with what he did. There's a difference between having a problem with his call and having a problem with what unfolds after the call. So clearly the Titans botched it on the second try. There's not a problem with the second try. It's like, I don't have a problem that the Titans didn't sign Jack Conklin to his 5th-year option. I have a problem that they fucked up every time they tried to replace him, starting with Isaiah Wilson and then Dylan Radins and then Nick Petit-Frere. See how that goes? The problem wasn't that they let an injury-prone and very expensive Jack Conklin leave. It was that they failed to replace him every time. The problem wasn't that they took the penalty and had them repunt. It's that they blocked in the back. Switch flipped in Cam in that 4th quarter. Happens with the rookies when they start to see the bigger picture of what's happening downfield. Should be something to build on going forward. You hope so. But quarterback growth is not linear. So there's a lot to learn. I think Latham will be back next week. The hip injury is a strain. Howie thought it was a Disney movie type game and finish. It was the basics that won it. Quarterback pressure, offensive line blocking, run game efficiency, and winning the turnover ratio. Did they win the turnover ratio? What was the turnover ratio? The Titans turned it over once, and they took it away. No interceptions. And what did they have? The lost fumble by DeMercado, which isn't really a lost fumble. It's a fumble through the end zone. Yeah, but they won back the fumble, obviously, and then Murray lost the fumble. Yeah, so they did win it. Yeah, Barton is a disappointment here. CA1 says Hooker and Snead back on track today. Barton was bad. I haven't seen a lot of great stuff out of Cody Barton so far. Same record as Baltimore, Scott points out. Not many people would have put any money on that. Raiders are a disaster. Pats are gettable. I think you're crazy if you think that Mike Vrabel is going to bring the Pats to Nashville and lose. Like, if I were better, I would make a 10-unit bet on that. Raiders are a disaster. Titans are also a disaster, by the way. I mean, they had a really good fourth quarter, and they won a game. But not at all expecting playoffs, Dom says, but there's plenty of runway. Build some confidence and momentum over the next few weeks. We'll see what they're made of. I think that may be an overreaction to one win. How do the Titans continue building on their success from this game and not let this win go to their head? How could this win go to their head? They suck. They're 1-4. Why would one win go to their head? I mean, they're a very immature team if one win goes to their head. Very immature team if one win goes to their head. Reason for hope when Latham comes back? Well, Latham is a better player than Udo. That's the reason for hope. This was a bad officiating crew in terms of they couldn't get things straight. They called out the wrong number. Cardinals numbers are hard to read from afar, but on TV they're not that hard to read. Umpire Trey Blake. I just thought they did a bad job, like in the management of their officiating. Chig had a pretty good game. What did Chig end up? Let's see what Chig wound up with. 4 catches on 5 targets for 48 yards, 12-yard average. Ridley, 5 catches and 10 targets, 131 yards, 26.2 average. That's the guy you're paying. You still like more catches out of 10 targets. But he made plays today. I mean, he made plays. He was a different guy. Isle Manor now, who some of you insist on telling me is going as a number 1 receiver, was number 6 receiver today. Was a receiver who shouldn't have been on the field today. He was terrible. Agree with this, Andrew. Let's pump the brakes on Ward being turned around here. That is a great quarter of play. Shows you what he's capable of. Shows him what he's capable of. Shows the coaches what he's capable of. Very encouraging quarter. But the 3 quarters before it were awfully discouraging. So a lot of stuff to straighten out. Yeah, Pollard lost the fumble. I forgot about that. You didn't know that Pollard had that Snead had dog in him until today? Can't coach hustle? I disagree with both of those. I mean, I think Snead clearly has dog in him, and you can coach hustle. Guy doesn't hustle, and then you take away his playing time, and then you give him his playing time back 3 weeks later, and you watch how much more he'll hustle. After all the complaining about game management, Callahan played the clock just right at the end. Yeah, but he did other game management things that were bad. He didn't go for 2. He punted 3 times on 4th and short, and he went for it on 4th and 10. So he wasn't great. Yeah, this thing, Andrew, I just don't understand the epidemic. When will players learn, he asks, to run into the end zone before dropping the ball? Completely changed the game for us, so he's not complaining. But I don't understand after the first guy did this, college game, pro game, whatever it was. I mean, I'm sure every coach in the country showed his players that. Now, some of these younger guys come up and would have missed it. But, I mean, it happens, it seems like once every 6 weeks or something. I just don't understand. I'm sure coaches show it on a regular basis. I don't understand how guys do it. And then coaches talk about it as a learning moment or whatever. You got to do it. Diggs will torch Snead. I don't know what that means. Give us some context. Morale is a big thing. Well, I mean, certainly Titans feel better about themselves than they have in some time. But what that translates into remains to be seen. You can't guarantee that it changes the feelings. Yeah, I tweeted out. Jim says, Paul, have you ever seen a comeback like this with the Titans as long as I've covered them? 2006, they came back from 21 down, not 15 down, against the Giants. RW, good to win, but let's not forget 2 ridiculous fumbles got them into it more than anybody else. Nobody's forgetting that. Anybody in here forgetting that? Raise your hand if you're forgetting that. I see no raised hands. I don't think RW we're in any risk of anybody forgetting. Yeah, here's ECH says, Big Jeff is playing better than ever. How much more can he achieve when T Sweat comes back? Well, you're presuming that T Sweat's going to be good. And T Sweat, A, wasn't that good last year. And B, a lot of questions about a guy who's been out of the loop forever. Guys who missed training camp, and he missed most of training camp, often don't play well. Do we think T Sweat's dieting, or do we think he's eating right now? It's coin flip. But this presumption that T Sweat's going to come back and be terrific, I think is very presumptuous. Yeah, Jessica says, good to see Ridley back, but seems that he was better and other receivers were worse. Certainly Al Manor had his worst game. CA says, Vrabel has a real grown man OC now, and McDaniel and the O-line coach and Marone. He's going to destroy us. And look at Burke and smile. Burke's not going to be the only one he looks at. It's a good point by ZD. Last year, they followed up the Houston win with one of the worst games of the year versus the Commanders. That was the Brownlee too cold game. It was 50 degrees. It was 44 degrees, I believe. But I was not struck that Callahan cried during the post-game presser, though somebody asked me about him choking up. I was not struck by him choking up, but I wasn't on high alert for it either. Titans seem better at clock management, more aggressive on 4th down when Callahan isn't calling plays. More aggressive on 4th down. They punted on 4th and 1, 4th and 2, and 4th and 3. That's 4th down aggression? I really couldn't tell you what kind of snaps Winston got. He played, I think, exclusively on special teams. Who do you think he's going to replace on defense? Because he's not going to replace Hooker and he's not going to replace Woods. So I imagine, I got to stretch a little. I imagine he's going to get what Diggs got. I don't imagine that Diggs is going to take that well. Not that that's important, but yeah, Z Dean says, let's also pump the brakes on the Raiders being a disaster. The Raiders are saying the exact same thing about the Titans. Also, Pete Carroll versus Brian Callahan pretty much speaks for itself. Snead did not influence the ball. He's not credited with the forced fumble. If you look closely at the replays that I saw, He's there. Maybe the guy felt him coming, but the guy was letting the ball go. I mean, he was letting the ball go in celebration. So all credit to Snead for hustling his ass and getting there, trying to influence it. He thinks he influenced it. I don't think we'll know. I didn't see what the back said, but it's a ridiculous play. Awaken very confidently said, "This isn't what Ward can be. This is who Ward is." So he's very confident that who Ward was for 15 minutes today completely eliminates who Ward was for 45 minutes today and who Ward's been for most of the 4 games where he was progressively, I think, getting worse. Yeah, Moore with a big miss blocking on the 4th down play. Commentators blamed Spears, but it looked like Moore missed the snap count. I thought Moore did a pretty good job of faking like he was completely innocent. I don't know, though. We'll get an answer on that tomorrow. CA doesn't like the 3rd and 2 call when the interception was thrown. I think Ridley was wide open on that, and the defender made a good play. That's what I think generally happened. Jessica, here's hoping this doesn't save Callahan's job. Yes, they won, but it was an absolutely atrocious game until the Cardinals choked. A win is a win, but the same mistakes were still there. Well, he's not getting fired tomorrow, and I don't think he'll get fired after the Raiders game, so it certainly buys him time. I mean, they were being patient as it was, and I think they're certainly going to be patient, more patient now. This isn't going to do anything to accelerate anything going on with him. It's not, I mean, one game's not saving his job for next year, but we'll see what comes of it, certainly. Was Deshaun Jackson, in fact, the originator of dropping the ball before crossing the goal line? Here's more Titans period. Andrew Frill says the Titans will still come out next week and crap the bed. Jimmy says that the Raiders are favored by 6.5. Well, it certainly was an improvement in play calling today, Z Dean says. Last week, the play calling wasn't very good, and they got shut out. I mean, that was part of it. Today, they got some things going in the 4th quarter. But, I mean, the key to that was better throws from the quarterback. Yeah, this is an issue. Clinton said a lot of 3rd down plays with routes run short of the sticks. Is that a play calling issue, receiver not adjusting, or does Cam need to rip it to receivers more downfield? There was one in particular where Lockett was short of the sticks. That's a good question. I mean, I can't imagine that a route 2 yards short of the sticks is called. So we'll have to do that. I think that game I'm talking about was McNair against the Giants in 2006, where they came back from 21 down. That was at the Meadowlands, right? Will Bloodworth says, I want to feel good after a win, but I feel like this is just emblematic of how bad the Titans are right now. The other team has to make catastrophic mistakes for us to be able to actually win. Oh, 06 would have been late for McNair. What are the odds of the Titans extending Sweat and Okonkwo, do I think? Well, they're not extending Sweat. Sweat is in his 2nd year. You're not even eligible to be extended until after your 3rd year. Sweat hasn't done shit. What is the fascination with Sweat? Okonkwo, maybe, but I think he's too inconsistent. Why not run the ball on the last 3rd down to see if we can score a touchdown? There wasn't too much time left on the clock for the Cardinals. If we didn't score, we had 1 timeout and still could have attempted the field goal. The answer to virtually every question like that, where something is super conservative, is because they fear something bad happening. And so you want them to run to see if they could score a touchdown. And they're not going to run because they fear the ball's going to get punched out or something bad is going to happen. So their entire strategy on that is to get in position for a field goal. And then they're positioning Sly on his preferred hash mark. Yeah, we've known that Todd Downing is on the Patriots sideline since he got hired, kind of when Vrabel put his staff together in January. Cedric Gray is doing a pretty good job. I haven't seen enough of other defensive tackles around the league to tell you if Jeff is the very best defensive tackle, but he certainly has to be in the conversation. What does Callahan have to do to save his job at this point? Well, get more of this Cam Ward, fourth quarter Cam Ward. I think if you get more fourth quarter Cam Ward and show that could be the guy, got an outside chance. 1-16 is still on the table, Georgia. Nobody's in here saying anything differently, I don't think. Yes, okay. He got let go by Emmanuel. I remember specifically that game now. Got let go by Osi in that game because Osi thought he had thrown the ball and was scared that he was going to get flagged. What's my take on Raiders Titans? I would favor the Raiders. Of course it cools Callie's seat. I mean, you guys are expecting Callie to get fired every Monday. He's not getting fired tomorrow. I mean, I've told you he's not getting fired all of these Mondays. But I don't really understand the question. Like, if they lost today, would he be in worse shape than if they won today? Yes. Got two angles in my head. Is there a good reflection? I'm standing kind of on a weird step because if I stood where I wanted to be standing, I'd be here, and then I would have to put this like this, and I don't find it to be a favorable angle. Yeah. I mean, Bobin asks, what did I see in the fourth quarter that gave them the rhythm as opposed to the first three quarters? They started playing better. Cam started throwing better. And they got energized by mistakes by the other team. I mean, it might get Sunday Night Football OT. I wish I could. I might depart here quickly to go see the end of the thing. I seem a little down that the Titans won today. You guys read so much into so much. It's 8:16 in Arizona. I've been here all day. I got a half an hour ride back to the hotel, and I got a 5 o'clock in the morning flight. If I'm down, it's my work day that's got me down. Why did Amy put Burke in charge? It feels like the Texans with Easterby all over again. Burke is nothing like Easterby, and Easterby was involved in football stuff, and Burke is not involved in football stuff at all. Chad oversees the football stuff. Guys are throwing out some wild shit today. CA, I thought you were more tied into this team. Like Easterby was a guy that was down in the football offices messing with stuff. Burke oversees the business side of the Titans football operations. Got the stadium built so far more than Easterby ever did. You could complain about Burke. I mean, he's certainly been involved in and all of this shit that's gone on with hirings and firings and all of that. University classes go very well. It's a lot of fun. Thanks. Is Snead the worst interview in the locker room? I mean, I haven't gone entirely deep in the locker room. He's very short. Crenshaw Dixon and Corey Levin were both playing tackle eligible, so they were coming on the field as a sixth offensive lineman. I hate to break it to you, but if Callahan lost today, he wasn't getting fired. I don't know why you won't listen to me on this. I'm trying to help you and inform you, but you just don't want the information. Would I trade Simmons for anything less than a first or a second round pick? Glad he's playing well and seems more accountable, but would prefer the multiple picks we can get from him. I don't think they can get a first round pick for him. I think they might get a second and something. And I would be tempted to trade him for a second and something. A second and something that had an escalator on it based on how much he plays. I think what's the top priority with the top 5 pick? Edge, cornerback, wide receiver. I think it's got to be edge. Haven't drafted an edge or a defensive end or edge with the first round pick since Derek Morgan. That's far, far too long. But I think I don't think they'll be drafting in the top 5. And I think the odds of the number 5 team being the one that wants to trade up to where they are, I think they're going to be trading out. I think Sweat will be back as soon as he's eligible to be back. So how many more games is that? Maybe 1? So that would be back for the Patriots game. I don't have a strong feeling one way or the other about Simmons getting moved. I do think it'd be hard for them to resist. No, I don't think they'll be drafting top 5 because I think they will have traded out of the top 5. No, Derek Morgan. I mean, Javon Curse was an edge player. Derek Morgan was an edge player. It's wrong, Robert, to take it all the way back to Curse. I'd like to see the Pats beat Buffalo too. What else we got? Give me a couple more and we'll get out of here. Be sure to eat at Edley's Barbecue. Be sure to become a member of paulkuharsky.com. The best coverage of the Titans. Support independent journalism. Read Blake Bedingfield, Drew Beatty, Mike Herndon, Braden Gall, Paul Kuharsky. Tell me if this field goal is good. I appreciate your reporting, Paul. Feels like you've been around since Floyd. Keep up the amazing work. This could be a turning point for the Titans. Cam took a major step forward. Could be a major turning point. Could be a lucky afternoon. I have been around since Floyd. I worked with Floyd when Floyd was in Houston. I covered the last year in Houston, 96. Yeah, this guy doesn't understand. Luke doesn't understand trading Simmons. You trade Simmons, and then you have to replace Simmons. Do I feel confident that the Titans can replace Simmons with a second rounder as a player? I don't want them to replace Simmons with a second rounder. I want them to draft defensive tackle in like the 4th or 5th. And I want them to use the second to draft an edge or a wide receiver or cornerback, positions that are more important than defensive tackle. And Jeffrey Simmons is going to want a big money contract, and he's going to start to sink relatively soon. And I just think if you could get a second and something, you'd be better served. I think Chig is probably a money issue. Is there a chance that Chig gets re-signed? They got to get Helm on the field more, but he doesn't block well enough, which is a problem. But I think Chig could go either way. I'm not choosing between Thunder Road or Jungle Land. I will see the Springsteen movie on the first day that it's out. Seems whenever the Titans have to play an up-tempo offense when they're down, the easy short pass game designed with Yak in mind is successfully wild. Need more of that all 4 quarters. I absolutely agree with that. Is Mike Vrabel beating an undefeated Bills team a bigger win than anything Callie has done with the Titans so far? That's a rhetorical question, right? Yes. Yes, it is. Which rookie, Sam, do you need? The running back? Burke didn't want Vrabel, and all accounts are he forced Callie on Rand. Maybe this go around they will let the GM pick their own guy. I don't believe by all accounts he forced Callie on Rand, not by my account. I guess you haven't asked me for my account. He didn't have the power to force Callie on Rand. Amy Adams Strunk hires these people. Amy Adams Strunk. Now, nobody wanted Vrabel. They were all done with Vrabel. But Amy Adams Strunk ultimately chooses to fire Vrabel. So you're holding that against Burke instead of against Amy. Forced Callie on Rand. Who is it that you think Rand wanted to hire? And you think that we should have, and you think Rand was going to hire better? Rand, who was playing Candy Crush on a regular basis in meetings. I mean, say what you will about Burke Nihill, but he actually does work. Like, if it was his job to prepare a draft board, he would have enough players on the draft board that when it came time, he would have somebody ready instead of picking Jaquan Jackson. Well, the Rams, the top trade candidate, I have no idea who the top trade candidate is. Don't the Rams have pretty good interior defensive line? Oh, for a quarterback? I have no idea. There are teams that are more quarterback needy than the Rams. 2 firsts, a second, and Adams. I have no idea. I'm not in draft mode on October 5th when the Titans finally won a game. How long is this field goal? Yeah, I could use more from Henderson myself, Sam. This is just ridiculous from Dennis. The Cardinals beat the Cardinals, and the Titans are still winless. I assure all of you, if you look at the standings, the updated standings, there will be 1 win next to the Titans, and there will be an additional loss to the Cardinals. And the record is the record. It doesn't matter how you get the win. Now, there are some bad wins, and there are some good losses and all of that. But the Tennessee Titans have been victim plenty of times to playing like idiots. Against the Bears last year, against the Jets last year. And the Jets and the Bears did not turn in those wins and say, we can't take this win because the Titans lost the game. And they're not giving those wins back. The Titans sure as fuck shouldn't give this win back. New England 23-20 with 15 seconds left. 52-yard field goal good. That is a hell of a win for Michael Vrabel. Hell of a win. It is going to be a bloodbath when he is playing a Tennessee team that is far worse than your Buffalo Bills, and trying to stick it to Amy Adams Strunk and whoever else in Tennessee coming back to town. I'm Paul Kuharsky, paulkuharsky.com. Join the site. Enjoyed having you at the podcast. Eat at Edley's. And don't block the box. Be sure to lock the locks. Good night, everybody.